What's up, guys? It's Ty with FroBro. Whatever you guys watch me on, I'm out there on that social platforms. So I am making this video to maybe help someone see things in a new light, try to shift someone's perspective, because lots of things are going on in the world right now, and I'm not going to go into specifics, but just so many things are going on in the world, and just they're going to stress you out. You're going to go through hard times. It's not like you can stop certain things from happening, but you can shift the way that you let it affect you. You can try to learn certain things from it that you haven't learned before. Even if the same thing in your life is happening over and over again, there might be something about that will bring about learning something new. So what I'm going to dive into right now, I want to tell you guys a story. I actually heard this story somewhere on YouTube. The YouTube channel was Words of Wisdom, I believe. Now, the channel is mainly comprised of videos teaching lessons and Buddhas and monks and all that stuff, but it's not specifically a Buddha or a monk. I think making these videos, he's just telling stories. So essentially this story is about a Buddha that is a minister, and there's a king. Now this minister works for the king, okay, and he has for years, and they're buddy. They're always side by side, working together, doing things. If the king has something that needs to be done, he talks to the minister about it to make sure, if they equally agree that it should be done. Well, one day the king is just getting out of bed, and he looks down and he realizes that he is missing a toe. Now, he was astonished because he didn't know what happened. Come to find out, it was his minister. His minister cut off his toe. And he was wondering, why would you do that, minister? You're always by me. You're always helping me out. You're always helping me make my decisions. The Buddha all he had to say was, everything happens for good. He said, just trust in that. And the king was confused. The minister had always helped him make other decisions and was always telling him that what they're doing is for good. So the king had seen the minister always did things for good, and he was confused why he cut his toe off. He didn't understand how that was good. The king sent the minister to prison, that Buddha minister, and months go by. This king is traveling out about with his men. They're on some horses. Well, the king, he gets separated from his men, and he can't find his way out. He's actually lost in a forest. He finds his way in a forest, pretty separated from his men. He can't find him, can't figure out a way out. Well, he comes across these tribal people. These tribal people, they live differently. They do things differently. They take this king back to their village. The king doesn't think anything of it, but he goes with them, and they introduce the king to the chief. Well, little does the king know, they're about to sacrifice him. Well, the chief comes out and he's looking at the king. They strip the king, and right before they sacrifice him, the chief stops everything and says, we cannot sacrifice him. And all the tribal people looked at the chief and were confused. Why can't we? And the chief said to the tribal people, this man here is incomplete. That toe that's gone would make an incomplete sacrifice. They were sacrificing the king to a deity that they believed in, to a god, to something that they believed in. And ultimately, they didn't sacrifice the king because he was incomplete. So they sent the king on his way home. The king found his way out the forest. He found his way to his land, and he told his men about what just happened. And he goes to the minister that's in prison, that he put in jail because of chopping his toe off. And he took him out of jail, and he said, how did you know that was going to happen? That ultimately the king didn't die because of what the minister did. Now the minister says, I didn't know. I just felt that everything happens for good, and that's what I felt was supposed to happen. The king didn't know what to do or how he would make up for his actions. He told the minister, I owe you so much. I owe you my life. The minister said, no, you don't. You don't owe me anything. He said, you already repaid me. The king was confused. He says, what do you mean? The minister replies, everything happens for good. The king's like, why do you always say that? The minister says, well, If I had chopped your toe off and you did not put me in jail, and I would have been with you on the day that you got lost and those tribal people found you, they would have seen that you were incomplete. And therefore they would have seen that I was not incomplete. Therefore they would have sacrificed me. So based off of the actions that happened, they both had their lives spared. Even though in the very beginning, ultimately, it was the king getting his toe chopped off. How could that seem good at all? It saved the king's life and it saved the minister's life. It doesn't make sense, but ultimately the king, since he put him in jail, it saved his life too. So certain choices and actions that we make can lead to different outcomes. So pay attention to what you do in life and how you act towards things in certain situations, because it can ultimately affect your future or someone else's future. So that's all I wanted to leave you guys with today. I'll see you guys in another video. Peace.